Here comes the sun introduction. We're looking at basically the introduction, so we're going to teach you the skills for the riff I just played. You do have the PDF in front of you, and let's get going. We're going to first of all focus on what our fretting hand does. Now we're starting with the basic D chord, you recognize that? And we're going to do sort of a rake with our picking hand, which should sound like this. You can hear it's not a picked as a whole, but actually dragged. Now what's actually happening with the D chord? Let me just focus in on the picking hand for a quick minute. Okay, on the picking technique, like we said, we're not doing this. We're doing this. And what's actually happening there is, I'm going to get a bit of a different angle so you can see the fingers. Super slow motion, thumb on the fourth, first finger on the third, middle finger on the second, ring finger on the first, and at speed, or full speed. So it's a very nice technique, and from a different angle it could look like this. Slow-mo, and when you're playing it at speed. And if you put it with the first part on the D, and let me see if we can try and get the fretting hand involved with it as well. And you can see there what's going to happen is I'm going to lose that middle finger to go from the 3 to the open, to the 2 and back to the 3. I'll give you a different angle than that now. But the first phrase, slow motion. And let's have a look at a different angle from that. You can hear that rake in the corner. I'm picking the next note, the 3 on the second string with my middle finger of my picking hand. You can't see that now obviously because you're focusing on here. So the first 2 notes. And then for the 0 after that, I release my middle finger to get the open E string. And then I bring the middle finger back for the 2, so it's, and back to the second string. My third finger is already fretted, and that's the first phrase. Before it leads into the G, now you're going to see a 2-0-3, and the 2 again is played by the natural D chord with the middle finger in place. To get the 0, you simply release it, and fingers 1 and 3 haven't gone anywhere yet. And to finish off that phrase, okay, we're going to have, and the notes independently should sound, but that last 0 is part of the G. So you're going to have, and let's focus left and right hand together. Now it always feels weird for me personally when I have to play the song bit by bit, because you're looking for the continuity, for the flow of the song. But we're going to play it now from the beginning up until that G. So it's going to sound like this. And then you can hear that in the G chord. And again, if you're looking at this hand that's busy waving at you, I'm not playing the full chord like the tab actually shows, because I don't think that's right. It sounds quite nice just as a rake, the same idea as on the D we do on the G. And after that, you bring the pinky in to get that third fret there. So you're going to have your, and just a different angle there. You've got the G again. There's the 3, pinky going to the third fret, and then to the open string, back to the 3, and then A7. And from the beginning up until including the A7, we're going to have this. I'm going to try and take it a bit slower now so you can sort of see the finger movements and everything. And here we go. And there's your A7. And the A7 chord, finger 1 and 2 both in the, well, finger 2 and 3 rather, sorry, both in the second fret. Middle finger number 2 is going to be on the 4th string, ring finger on the 2nd string. And then from that, you bring the pinky in for the 3 and the 0 after that. So it's 2-0-2-3-0. So your first bar could sound something like this. And you'll notice that 202 is quite quick, the 202. Okay, if you don't do that, your timing is going to be a little bit stuck. Okay, bit of a different angle again. Now you can see the fingers a bit better, and we're going to play that first bar one more time, a little bit slower, paying attention to hearing the notes, watching what the finger movements are. And here we go. I'm going to count you in, so if you want to play with, you can. 2, 3, 4, and there we go. And then also with the picking hand, very important to make sure that your thumb is playing the bass note to be string 4, 5, and 6 as necessary. Finger 1 on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd string, and ring finger on the 1st. Now we did say this at the beginning of the video, but I noticed sometimes at the lessons we're so busy focused on what must actually be played, we sometimes forget the sequence of the fingers. So a bit more closer here, and I'm going to play the same piece now so you can watch slowly what this hand is doing. 2, 3, 4, and you can see I'm not moving very much over here. And now for an overview, left and right hand. And now we can see how both hands are working together. On the count of 4 again. 2, 3, 4, and there you have it. Now the second bar, I'm going to play it for you, and you'll hear it starts pretty much the same, but it ends differently. It's going to sound something like this. And there's your new notes. 2 open on the 1st string, 3 now with the pinky kicking in every ear. Still got a G chord in the background to make sure the bass note is ringing nice against that, and then to A7, and there's your chord. Now I'm going to zoom in again a bit more onto the fretting hand, and I'd like to just pay attention to what the fingers are doing in the second bar. It starts the same like we said. Now that's still the same. On the G chord there, notice we're not playing the bottom frets. Basically it's a G6 shape, but you want that open 2nd string. Now the 1st finger, which is free, comes into string number 1 and fret number 2, and then open, and then the pinky comes into the 2nd string, 3rd fret again, and then A7. Once you've got that skill, you should be able to play through the song quite nicely. There are a few other parts as well which are quite cool. If you look at riff number 2, there's a part that goes slow motion. So it's a quick slide from fret 2 to number 4. You're bringing the 1st finger into the 2nd string. Then it goes to, which is 2, 3, 0. So it's, then you lose the 1st finger, come back to the 2 on the back, so slow motion. And obviously please don't play the dead note that I did. That's my own dead note and I'm not proud of it, but it's mine. Okay, one more time, slow motion. And after you play that last sort of, it's D sus chord really. After you've done the last 2, 3, 0, 3, 2, 0, 2, you're going to have those last 4 notes at the end of riff 2. So slow motion. And it's riff 2. And that should just be a lot faster. Again, don't copy my dead notes. That's not intentional. Okay. Halfway down the page, you're going to see there's a little part that says F, C, G with the B bass. And when he sings that, sun, 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 here it comes, this guitar plays against it. Like that against it. And the tabs for that are pretty straightforward. It's an F, but you're not playing the finger flat. So you're only playing strings 4, 3, and 2. So there's your F for the first sun. When you go to the C, you come up a string. The G's got a B bass. normal G, and then from there to a D chord and an A7. And that's pretty much the breakdown of Here Comes the Sun. If you've got any more detailed questions, I'm not going to play the whole thing through because then I'll have to sing, and trust me, that's one thing you don't want to hear, is you don't want to hear me sing. But these are the basic techniques and tools and finger positions to get your working for you the whole way through. Welcome to hear some questions and comments. I hope you got the PDF file. If you don't, please drop me a WhatsApp or email me and I'll happily send the PDF that I use from it. And have a cool day. Take care. Cheers. Bye.